Hi there, it's Rob here from the gym team. I hope you're well. Welcome to this abdominal and back conditioning training session. This is a great all-round body workout. We're working not just the back, the hips, the pelvis, the abdominals. We're working it all through. Okay, so grab yourself a pint of water, take a sip, get ready to hydrate. The idea of this class is that it will definitely improve your posture. It will certainly increase your abdominal and back strength, and you should feel great afterwards. Enjoy the class. Cheers. Okay, so from there, let's find ourselves a space. Standing on our mat, we're just going to check. We're going to go around one way, around the other, and if you need to move your mat out just slightly, then do so. Make sure your hands aren't going to go any light fittings above your head. And from there, let's just stretch ourselves out. So we're going to have our feet a fist gap apart, bring the arms out to chest height. We're going to work as a propeller, raking round, side to side. We're going to allow the hips to rotate with us, keeping the arms up at chest height. We're going to feel our big toe to our little toe squeeze down to the floor, allowing the rotation here. 4 more here. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And release. We're going to roll down to the side, up gently and back again. Imagine you're in a toaster. Now, our day-to-day, we tend to be quite rounded through the shoulders. So I want you to lift here. I want you to lift up your chest. Reach down to the side, lift and tilt to the other side again. We're keeping the movement slow, definite, and controlled. Every movement is now allowing the pelvis to tilt from side to side. The knuckles are facing forwards, the chest is lifted, the hips are swaying side to side. And from here, we're going to stretch our arms up, grab one wrist, tilt over to the right side, extend the arms as far as possible, driving the pelvis away to the side, reaching far with the arms. When you get to a point of lengthening, I want you to just stretch and reach a little bit further. Controlling, coming back up and reaching over the other side. Strong lateral movement over each time. And slowly releasing here. We're going to take our feet wide now. Toes facing forwards. We're going to allow ourselves to hinge from the hips. And dropping down. Bringing our hands on top of our thighs. We're going to check our toe position and bring them in nice and square and forwards. From there we have from our big toe to our little toe flat down to the floor. We have the hinge from the hips. Our hands firmly on the front of our thighs. Now reach our arms down, and if you can reach the floor, you're going to walk your hands forward and back. Now if you can't reach the floor, you're just going to momentarily fly your arms forwards and back as if you were walking through the air. Slow control movements forward. Slowly walking back again. The idea of this is we are lengthening the back of the hamstrings. We are using the abdominals to stabilize as well. Now, as you're doing this, I now want you to clench your glutes and your abdominals nice and tightly. So just bring your hands on top of your thighs, or your forearms on your thighs, and feel yourself clench your bottom nice and tight. You're going to feel maybe your knees will rotate outwards slightly as you've clenched really hard. You're going to hold your tummy muscles, try and keep the breathing. Now, we're going to walk as if our arms are going forward and backwards, but not touching the floor. So we're using the strength of the tripod that's been created, or the dupod of our feet, and then we're working using the abdominal strength and back strength to stop ourselves from falling over. We're going to work this again, stretching, reaching, keeping the glutes tight, keeping the abs braced, walking those arms back. Now, we're going to work our hands side by side and lift. Straight forward and then slowly back in again. And now we're going to try and do the same thing by lifting our chest just slightly higher. So we've hinged from the hips. We're using the bracing of our abdominals and of our glutes again. We're stretching those arms out strong, slowly lowering them back again. Strengthen the lift. Slow control, lower back down. And then from there, hands back to your thighs. Slowly raising up strong. And you'll feel an amazing difference in your back. From there, walking through and see if you can drive your pelvis through to standing here, dropping the shoulders back, chest lifted. And release. From here, we're going to come down to the floor. We're going to try and reverse out the lower back by stretching up into a back bridge and then slowly controlling back down again. Again, we drive through on the hips. We slowly control lower back down again. Big toe, little toe, square down to the floor. Two more here. Keeping the arms raised up just at chest height. Try and keep those glutes engaged. You're feeling them pulling taut. You're slowly controlling, lowering back down again. Curving through the spine, lowering the arms back down to the side. Take your right hand and place it over your left shoulder. Extend the right leg away. You're going to raise the right leg and back, hinging from the hip. Point the toes away and feel the abdominals engage. If you can't feel it, you're going to lift up through your shoulders, keeping your chin back and raised. Still working on that single leg raise up and through. Now, if you can, you walk your heel up towards your bottom slightly more. You'll be able to get a bit of purchase onto that lower leg. And you might be able to get a bit of a pelvic lift. It's only a small lift, and it's a slow, controlled movement here. It's a brilliant way of engaging all the hip flexors and all of those lower part of the abdominal group. It's also a nice way of stretching and lengthening the lower back. If you are struggling with this as a movement, keep the lower back engaged into the floor. If you can keep the chest lifted and the lower leg just working through and a straight leg raise and lower, and that's great as well. From there, slowly releasing. You might find that your neck muscles got a bit taut there, so allow just a little bit of a gentle massage of those neck muscles to help release out. So from here we roll to the right side, and we're going to place the left foot. You can either place it in front and over, or you can place it behind. We have our hips driven forward, pelvis driven forward. We're going to raise the lower leg up, and it's turned so that the feet are laterally rotated, so the inner part of the ankle is raising and lowering each time. Should be feeling this working the inner part of certainly the adductors are fully engaged here. But if you raise so that the top knee is pointing up high to the ceiling, you should be able to engage the glutes at the same time. If you do this, you're tensing all those gluteal muscles, medius, max, and minimus, and you should be feeling you're getting an incredibly good hard workout around the pelvis. And don't forget that as you're doing all of these exercises, the transverse abdominal muscles, they're working incredibly hard to stabilize, and you're getting a great abdominal workout and lower back stability. And release. Rolling it over, and let's change over to the side. So we're going to lean back onto our back again, walk our feet back up. This time we're going to work through our back bridge again, slowly lowering the lower back down to the floor. As we work this, we breathe out, we push up, driving the hips up nice and high, slowly controlling the lower. Now if you find that this affects your blood pressure because you've got your arms raised, lower your arms and cross them over your chest. Keep the abs nice and braced. Keep the glutes nice and taut. Slow lower, strong raise. Slowly releasing. And again, we're going to work through that movement, through with a straight leg raise on the left side this time. Again, keeping the lower back engaged to the floor. Really a nice straight leg raise and lower. Again, engaged. Think about tightening the glutes as you're doing this. And think about tightening the abdominals as well. As we work through this, we can work through a chest raise with our shoulders back. We'll give you a nice gap between our chin and our chest, lifting up. Slowly controlling that down again. Now, if you're finding the head is too heavy here, you can take your fingertips, place them behind the nape of the neck, and allow your chin to stay lifted, but make sure it's your abdominals that are holding the chest up high. Two more here. Last one here. And release. Rolling over to your side. And again, we've got our right leg. So our knee is either up to the ceiling or it can cross over the left leg to aid stability and support. So find if it's behind from here. We can really start to work through some gluteal strength. So we can really pull back in through. So we're going to work on these inner thigh raises now. Left leg out nice and straight, lifting strong. And again, working on that slow lower back down to the ground. 3 more here. 2 more here. Last one. And release. Rolling back to your back. Place your feet flat to the floor, knees up to the ceiling. You work on some pelvic rotations here. So the knees are going to roll to the right. Take that control, breathe out. Slowly pull the knees back up to the top and roll to the other side. From there, releasing, lowering both legs down to the ground, rolling the lower hips, or the lower back and the hips as well. And here we're going to walk our feet flat back to the floor. Work our abdominal straight to lift us up. Slowly lowering back down each time. Now as we raise up through the sit-up, we breathe out. We suck it back in as we come back down again. We're going to work 6 more here. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and release. Stretch and lengthen back out, put the toes away. And release. From there, taking yourself back through into standing. Taking the feet facing forwards, hinge and drop. Chin on your chest, and nice big extension through the back of the legs. From there, standing, take the feet wide. Toes facing forwards again, hinge back through, hands on top of the thighs, drop the chin on the chest. Feel big toe to little toe flat down to the floor. And then releasing into what the fingers, roll it one way, roll back the opposite way. Standing back in, side tilt again. Slow controlled movements. from there, shake it up. Really, really well trained. Hope you enjoyed that training session. Lovely work. Great work developing the lower back and the upper back strength. Grab yourself your water. Really, really well trained. As always, if you did live, hashtag live, did replay, hashtag replay. And as always, if you can help, please get in contact. Well trained. Cheers. See you next time for the next one. Well done.
Thank you, Rob.
Well done. Well trained, guys. Awesome.